Buongiorno. I believe this is day 6. Just outside my hotel. That's where my room was, right up there. In the very center of Courmayeur. Gonna stop and get a sandwich. And head out of town after a 0 day. Quite restful. Well, today as I walk out, what's on my mind is trust. Trust among human beings. If you don't have trust in other people, institutions, science, trust in general, pretty much everything breaks down, especially complex processes. But you can't be assured that, someone isn't going to rob you, cheat you. The money is there. The contract will be fulfilled, etc. And we have people, first I want to say we've made great strides in recent decades with trust. So you think of whole industries that didn't exist before, like Uber and Airbnb, which rely on peer-to-peer reviews in order to give people the confidence and the trust that they have that if they're getting into a car, that they're not going to be taken for a ride or robbed or whatever. And also, conversely, that if you let someone in your car, you're not going to be held up if you're like an Uber driver. Same thing applies for Airbnb. Are you going to let someone into the spare room of your home unless you're sort of confident you know who they are and that you're going to get paid and that they're not going to trash your house? Okay? So great strides in those kinds of peer-to-peer reviews. Now, can they be skewed? Yes, they can be skewed. I gave a bad review to a hostel that I stayed at in Barcelona, and I got a sort of a whiny, sniveling email from the manager of the place asking that I upgrade my review because, for example, he pulled out all the stops. The hardworking kids that work behind the desk aren't going to get their bonus because I gave a bad review. Well, hey, that's not on me. That's on the manager if he wants to tie their compensation to the reviews that people give. But it was kind of a lousy place. And so I let my review stand. Why? Because other people are trusting on the honesty of these reviews and that they're not dishonestly upgraded through fear or intimidation or guilt or whatever. I'm also thinking about trust in a much more general way and sort of the dangers of trust. I remember several years ago, it was probably at least a decade ago, sort of in the early days of the popularity of search engines. And there was a congressman who was trying to rake a senior official of Google over the coals under oath that Google was politically skewed because, and he offered as proof, his staff looked up their Google feed for the congressman for the previous 2 weeks or whatever, and 80 to 90% of the comments that showed up on their query were negative about this particular congressman. So he was asserting that Google was skewing the results when, of course, that didn't happen. And the executive from Google tried to explain to the congressman that no, literally what happens is the query from your staff, because they only click through on the negative comments of the congressman, never the positive comments about the congressman. So literally their profile with Google is this person is only interested in negative comments about the congressman. And this person was this was the staff member. And the congressman just did not comprehend that there would be different profiles and different results of a Google search based on the click-through performance history of the person making the query. And so we get people who have the reinforcement bias handed to them by search engines all the time. Everything's against you. All these conspiracy theories are true. Look, I'm getting all these results. And it turns out, yes, the only thing I'm seeing is all these conspiracy theories, or this supplement works, or doctors don't know anything, or experts don't know anything. If that's your going in point, all you're going to do is get your preconceived notion reinforced. And so trust has broken down amongst a large portion of our society. And it has to do literally from search engines. People are only getting what they want to get, and they don't rely upon expertise. It's been more than a decade now that I think Tom Nichols wrote the prescient book, The Death of Expertise. And we used to rely on experts, and now we only rely on our own results in our Google search feed. And it's not good, and it's going to get much worse with AI bots that are going to, with a laser focus, try to give us what they think we want to hear rather than what we need to hear. One of my thoughts for today. Looking down on Courmayeur, and I think the Refugio's right up there, the first one, not Bonatti. Okay, I'm just gonna go up there and take a reassess here. Here I have a good view of Mont Blanc, which looms over Courmayeur, which is down to the left. It's sort of beautiful today. Mont Blanc is somewhere off in that direction. Well, I hear some voices, but oh, and a dog. But the Refugio is fermé. So here I'm going to face a choice whether to climb up even further or to stay kind of at this elevation. And I have to assess the weather. There's supposed to be a band of storms coming through, so I can see it forming right now. So I think I'm gonna stay on the main route and not go up a ridge. I took a look here. I think I've already climbed like 2,400 feet, kind of like in one go, coming out of town, it didn't feel that bad. So I'm up at 6,450 feet, I think, something like that. But I need to reassess, and I probably can't dilly-dally here, how much I want to mess with the risk in the mountains going up. I want to say there's a main alternate, but I think it goes like 1,000 feet up and down that I otherwise wouldn't have to deal with. So I think I'll stay on the main route. Okay, time for a water break. Maybe eat half my sandwich and be on my way. It's sort of late-ish afternoon, and I'm going into the Bonatti Refugio here probably within 30 minutes or so, and looking forward to that. Light rain, had two sort of significant waves of heavier rain come through, but sort of passed through, and within 10 minutes it was sort of all spent. Now it's sort of a low drizzle. Can't really see Mont Blanc though. Lost in the clouds. Mont Blanc. Maybe that's better. Monte Bianco. I'm in Italy. How's that? So I'm at the Bonatti Refugio. Checked in, got a bunk. It appears maybe it's only a 1/4%, or I'm sorry, a quarter filled for tonight. Maybe a third. Gonna have dinner in an hour. Had a shower. I wasn't even gonna have a shower. I had a shower this morning. I thought, but I had a little time, so went in, and it was hot, and it was elemental. It was really good. And then went up into the dining area, had a beer. Although I'm doing the TMB, and this is the only refuge that I'm planning on having, and camping most of the way, this is really living, I gotta say. The cost, 75 euros for a bunk, dinner, and breakfast, and a shower. An additional 12 for a packed lunch for tomorrow. So that's not excessive, considering that this is on the side of an Alp. So enjoying this a lot. And this Refugio is named for the famed Italian mountaineer Walter Bonatti. So they have his pictures up all over the place, and it's really nice. It's a good place. Enjoying it a lot.